I definitely did say God, because that's what Daddy is to me. She is my God. She is my Omega. She is my Alpha. She's my everything. And I'm pretty sure you're going to find a problem with it. And that's fine. Everybody can believe and can feel however way they want to feel. But at the end of the day, that is who I pray to. She is everything to me. So, it is what it is.
I love you. And to show you that I love you and that I am Daddy's girl and I belong to you, this is what happened.
Hey everyone, my name is Ventra and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about a call on TikTok that has been trending. I don't know if anybody has heard about it, but it's called Daddy's Girls and it is insane. Like, I can't think of any other word but the word insane. And I understand that a lot of people are posting about this, but I wanted to create this video for the sole fact that there is just so much information about this out there, from like podcasts, lives, forums, TikTok. It's kind of hard to follow the timeline. So I wanted to create this video for anyone who is confused about what's going on. So just bear with me. So recently on TikTok, it became known that Angela the Goddess, a known stud on TikTok who proudly calls herself the leader of the Daddy's Girls call, with allegedly more than 30 active members. I'm not sure what the number is now, but from what I've read is that there's more than 30 members. Angela preys on plus size women to recruit them to her call, where they dedicate their whole lives to her, such as sending her money, getting tattoos of her, branding her name on their body, praying to her, and even harming themselves for her. So how did this become so drastic and get to this point? I have answers, some answers. Keyword is some. I got most of my information from watching the Black podcast, where they interviewed Che Jenkins, who is an ex-member and ex-moderator of the Daddy's Girls call. And she said it started back in early January and February of this year, when Angela created her page, her old page, which is now banned, to create a bond and a sisterhood where women would talk about their shared trauma and life experiences on Angela's live. Che said Angela was a down-to-earth person, very easygoing, and often spent hours on the phone talking about their everyday lives and shared interest. Angela then created a group chat called Angela's Group Text, where they could just vent and express themselves. It wasn't until a month later when Angela's following began to increase due to her making thirst traps. And if you don't know what thirst traps, I really don't know how to explain it. So basically, people will just play a sexual audio and they'll just look in the camera and try to act sexy. That's basically what a thirst trap is. And Angela also started saying sexual things in her lives and duetting plus size women. So the women in her group started having a sexual attraction to Angela and started calling her daddy and poppy in her lives and in her comment sections too. I'm guessing it turned a switch in Angela, because then she told Che that she is going to be the moderator of her lives and to constantly drop her Cash App in the chats, and to anyone who does not call her daddy would be immediately blocked. The 30 plus women who were in the group were also told to give money to Angela through her Cash App or send her money through her lives. And if nobody was sending her money, this is kind of confusing to explain, but Angela would send money to Che for Che to send right back to her anonymously, so the women would see and become jealous that someone is sending more money to Angela. Angela averages about $2,000 to $3,000 for her lives on Venmo. People were starting to become so obsessed with Angela that someone from the group even flew out to Michigan from Louisiana. I believe it's Louisiana. And they met Angela, stayed with her for a couple days, and ended up getting her cat and some things from Louisiana and moving to Michigan to be closer to Angela. So this runs very, very, very deep. At the same time around this happening, Angela introduced everyone to have a poly relationship, like a dom submissive type relationship where they basically are owned by Angela, but Angela does not belong to anyone else. This is an example of what the women would have to do in this call. So at 9 a.m. every morning when Angela came home from her night shift, they had to be up to spread the word of their call on TikTok. So this was essentially their job. Like, this is what they were doing all day. Angela would put in curfews in place for the women and also determine when they could leave the house and who they could talk to on social media. They would have to inform Angela where they were going at all times. And for Che, she had to be inside the house by 4:30 p.m. every day. Angela also stated in the group chat that she wanted them to start calling her a god and start praying to her. Not like for her, like, oh, dear Heavenly Father. No, like she wanted them to pray to her.
Every single day I wake up, I hit my knees and I thank you for blessing my life with you. Just as I do when I go to bed. Just as I did this morning when I woke up, and just as I'm going to do tonight before I go to bed. I love you so much, my perfect God. Thank you for blessing my life with your presence. Daddy.
This is where it became a cult, essentially. These women who were basically a family and now in a relationship with Angela are being controlled by everything they do and doing everything for Angela and Angela only. And then it did progress to Bella and 3 other members of the Daddy's Girls cult to get a tattoo of Angela's name on their body. Bella is now an ex-member of the Daddy's Girls cult. She did fly out to Michigan to stay with Angela for a couple days, and she did end up getting abused by Angela during the short period of time they were together. And she did move back home and is now staying with a current girlfriend. So good for her. I just wanted to note that in there because majority of the videos I've used of her in here is of Bella because she was such a devout member.
When you love them so much and you want to show them that it's real, you put a name on it. I love my daddy.
During this time, Angela became emotionally abusive in the group chat and started calling them names and would call them lazy if they overslept or not doing anything she deemed productive or like not going on TikTok to recruit women. And if they don't follow through with what Angela wanted them to do, then they would get punished. And again, trigger warning, but I am going to be talking and showing videos of the members talking about the punishments that they have to do. So before I pull up the screenshot, I want to explain that in the BDSM/kink community, some people will have a power exchange relationship. So an easy example of this would be such as like a dom and a sub. And one of the things in a relationship like this is having punishments if they do that. So this, which is supposed to be consented between the two parties, but obviously this is a whole nother level. So when you have inexperienced people doing this, it can be very, very, very dangerous. So to explain this screenshot, apparently 4 out of the 30 women in the Daddy's Girls cult participate in these punishments where they have to, I don't even know if I can say this word, but they have to clut themselves if they do not obey Angela. And apparently when Angela would punish the women to clut themselves, she wanted to see blood and wanted them to be neat in a line and to send pictures in the group chat so she can approve of it.
One of the females had to follow through with the punishment that she was given. And within that morning that we're speaking of, she basically wanted me to do the same thing because the day before, 2 of the other girls had to do a punishment, and one of them was
Okay, wait a minute. So you keep saying this punishment. What do you mean they had to do a punishment? What exactly?
The punishment that one of the girls did. One of the girls had to cut 10 times on her leg, like the thigh area, and then the other girl had to cut 150 times on the thigh area.
150 times?
Yes.
And she did it?
Yeah. Angela sent me the picture.
Bro.
I appreciate the compliment, honey, but please don't call us beautiful or gorgeous. Please.
Please don't.
We don't want no vibes with daddy.
No wrong rides over here.
And Daddy said if with the 700 cuts, they better be neat.
You heard what she said.
And then after you finish cutting, you need to pray for forgiveness.
But in this video, we can see how toxic this is and how nonchalant it is for these women, Bella, the girl with the orange hair, and Michaela, to talk about clutting themselves as a form of punishment. So this is a huge negative side about the kink community, is anyone could do it. And for someone like Angela to want to be in control of these women, to manipulate them and gain their trust so she can abuse them and then hide it as a kink and as a power exchange, is sick. Later on in March of this year, Che was flown out to Michigan by Angela to stay with her and the Louisiana girl that moved out there. Besides Bella, Che had the closest relationship to Angela because they talked the longest, they knew each other the longest, so they agreed to meet each other. Che explained that Angela is a very, very different person from how she acts online. So she said that Angela was boring, not exciting, and not very social. And Che started putting two and two together as to what kind of person Angela is and how abusive she is.
When I was there, like I said, the girl that moved there,
So
it was me and her both
in the same place.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other girl that lives in New York, she was on the phone and she went live on TikTok without her permission. So she asked her to cut, but she did not cut how she wanted her to cut. She wanted them to be neat lines and she wanted them to be bleeding all the way. And it wasn't given what it was supposed to give to her. So the hotel was 5 minutes from her house. She literally drove 5 minutes. And we're literally yelling into the phone, like, just do what she asked you to do. Like, and she's sitting there, she was like, she got 30 seconds. She was counting to 30. And then when she got to 30, she just started, like, backhanding us, smacking us, choking us.
Che did end up leaving the cult in April, but even though Che has realized what type of person she is, it still leaves the other members of the cult to still ride hard for Angela.
This is the issue, is that we know where you were this weekend. And we're just feeling like, since you was with that person, you chose not to entertain Daddy. You have been ghosted from everything. You haven't been on TikTok, you haven't been on Instagram, you haven't been nowhere. That is the issue. Is that the person that you say you love so much, you ghosted her all weekend while you was away.
It's the people that's still talking to the people that's no longer messing with Daddy for me. Because if you don't mess with Daddy, I don't mess with you. And vice versa.
No, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Thank you, Daddy.
Exactly, Michaela. Vacation means you have time. All the time in the world. Exactly.
So, if you don't mess with Daddy, like, why are you talking and associating yourself with people that mess with Daddy? I don't get it. I can't do it. I won't do it.
And I'll never get it. And I'm never going to get it. And it's the audacity for me. And it's the boldness. Like, Daddy sees everything. And whatever you think Daddy don't see, I definitely see.
So Bella and the two girls were upset and talking about a member of the cult named Coco, who apparently went on vacation without Angela's permission. And the creepiest thing about this is that the members are stalking your social media and tracking your every move. Because if you do something that is not allowed, then you're getting punished for it. And I know people are saying, oh, then just leave. And obviously I get that. But, like, I'm trying to think, if I was in their shoes, I would be kind of scared, like, not even gonna lie. They know everything about you, because remember when Che says Angela determines who you can and cannot talk to on social media? They know your personal information. They know your past, your trauma. They know all aspects of your life. And to me personally, like, having a job and having close friends, like, that's kind of scary. I wouldn't want people that is on the internet to intervene with my life, if you get what I'm saying. So these women would do anything for Angela. I mean, if they're getting tattoos of her name on their body without ever meeting her, or moving across the country, harming themselves, slamming other women down, encouraging abuse, public humiliation, then what else would they do for her? And it's also scary how much of a grip she has on their lives. Like, I'm gonna pull up some screenshots, but as you can tell here, she really does not care. Like, she's making jokes about it. She thinks this is a game. This is a game to her. She's doing this for money and attention, for sure. So I did find out two things that are huge. It's a plot twist because I was like, wow, I did not expect this from her. But she is a former plus size woman, and she is married, who she refers to as her daddy.
The first thing you got to realize is that you got to love yourself. It's about self-love. Start understanding that if you're going to do something with your life, you got to fall in love with yourself again. You got to stop self-hating.
Now, why does this matter? Why does it matter that she was a former plus size woman and she's married? And just like everybody else, I'm also 100% positive that Angela's spouse is the one pulling the strings behind this and is also the one scamming these women. So let's take a look at this video. This is what happened. Y'all see her expression, right? Like, she looks like she's in shock. Now, in her head, after watching that TikTok, and for a fact that her spouse saw that TikTok too, they're thinking to themselves, okay, if they're willing to modify and permanently put something on their bodies for Angela, what else would they do for her? And Angela never brought up the fact that she's married in her TikToks, and she continues to make thirst traps duetting women, and specifically plus size women. Now, why is that? And the only thing I can guess, and other people have noted too, is that Angela, being a former plus size woman, understands how vulnerable some plus size women can be because of how society treats people who are bigger. Society is constantly telling them that they're undesirable or unattractive and that they should feel ashamed about their bodies, which is sick, so it contributes to them having low self-esteem. So she's pondering on that emotion and pondering at the fact that most of the women she is attracting have low self-esteem due to that. So she is aware. She is aware that her page is open for plus size women because she compliments them, duets them, and shows them attention. And now that Angela has lost a lot of weight, she is considered in society's eyes like beautiful and attractive. So therefore, her saying, oh, I'm attracted to BBWs, she is going to get like the followers that she wants. And then that's how she is turning it around to get financial gain. Does that make sense? Like, let me know if I'm making sense, if I worded it weird, but that's what I think, is that she is obviously manipulating them for financial gain. Also, the fact that Angela is married and has a daddy of herself, but then wants to be a daddy to women on the internet that she doesn't even know is weird and obviously very suspicious. And I'm just guessing that this has to lead back to money. Honestly, this is what I have so far. I know the timeline is really weird. Before Angela's page was banned, she had over 130,000 followers, and then it wasn't until recent when she started a new page in August, and this is when people are starting to speak out from last month and this month. So there is a lot of information out there, but yeah, this is what I have so far. So if you like this video, then definitely give it a like, share it, and we'll definitely have discussions in the comment section because there's just so much to talk about. There really is, and I didn't want this to be an hour video. So yeah, thanks for listening.